Jamar Chase, Justin Herbert. We're talking Broncos. We're talking Chiefs. We're talking Chargers. We're talking about the top 25 kids under 25. We're talking about Super Bowl wins. We're talking about franchise championships. It's all starting right now. We're going to rank your wide receivers. Myers in the mouse, in the house. Jason Udo in the house. We got a special guest tonight, first time on. For the love of the mouse is joining us, everybody. It's time. It's the NFL. It's Inside the Huddle, and it all starts now. Welcome in, gentlemen. Good to see you. Myers in the mouse, our broadcasting partner, and Jason Udo of Escapades of PJJ in the house with us tonight. I'm excited. We've got a good show lined up. Gene Fitzmagic has got an incredible question tonight that he'll be throwing when he calls his audible. That's one Fitzmagic that's not retired, is our Gene. But let's say hello first. We'll welcome Kelly, my broadcasting partner. We've been doing this a long time. It's always great to see you, my friend. I know you're not feeling 100%, but I do appreciate you coming in. You're muted. You might want to unmute.
I like him better this way.
Sign language. Yes. Okay.
Okay, we'll try again. What's up, everybody?
I gotta admit,
good to be here.
I gotta agree with Sanudo. That's the best comment you've ever said on the channel. It's fantastic.
Oh, it was the only time I've ever talked about your football team winning some games. So probably so.
That's good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming in. Sanudo, how you doing tonight? Filling in Joel Whip Dad?
I'm doing great. Yeah, be honest with you, I might be just a little bit younger than Dole Whip Dad, so I'll bring a little bit more energy.
There you go. Well, I'm excited. This is how the show's going to work, everybody. We'll have the Huddle Vision up there on the side. We'll bring the comments in as we come and highlight those as we go through. We'll try to bring as many comments into the chat as possible. You see Movie Mania Nick saying hello there to everyone. We can bring anybody's comment up there on the screen at all times. It doesn't matter who or what. We'll try to make you part of the show as we go through. Let me get it back up there to the top. I forgot I had moved it down with the previous intro. There we go. Now we're back up where we want to. So we'll bring you into the content as we go along. As we promised, we got a new guest with us tonight, guys. I'm excited for the first time on the channel. Bryson, for the love of the mouse, diehard Denver fan. Welcome in, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Glad to be back on your channel.
Absolutely. Bryson and I have known each other for quite a bit. He and his wife do an exceptional job on YouTube, Instagram as well, and can be found all over social media. They've been friends of the community for quite a bit. And Bryson does fantasy football with us and all kind of stuff. So it's a good mind to bring in. And as you can see, we've got an all AFC West attack tonight. Kansas City, the Chargers, and Broncos all represented. The only team not there is just because I didn't have a fourth spot right now, or we could have had the whole daggone division in. But if I'd have brought a Raider fan in, we'd probably ended up in a fight, and it wouldn't have been good. So I think
we don't need them.
We'll just leave it out for right now. Just a quick hello, Ashton G, Movie Mania Nick, Paul Angle, Crystal, Cricket Fox, thank you for the note at the beginning. Movie Mania Nick, T. Marie's Place, Joshua Thompson, Ashton G, all in the house. Brian K in here with us as well. We'll recognize more as we go along. We're just trying to say hello to everybody. Guys, let's first start with a quick couple things of topic news real quick. I wanted to highlight these. These were things that happened along the week just real quick, and I'll run through, and then I'll kind of just let you guys give an overview at the end. Cooper Kupp got extended 3 more years. It's about $110 million for him. That was one of the big news fronts. You got the biggest contract in history that's not a quarterback. They decided to give they decided to give everything that they were going to give to their quarterback and say, nope, we'll give it to Aaron Donald. We're going to back a Brinks truck up. There's gold bars in there. You take as many as you want, pack them in your car and go home. So he's now making a whole lot of money to come back, which was interesting. And then I thought the bigger topic too is, which is about to happen, is Denver Broncos about to be bought by the Walmart family for $4.65 million, sources say. Very close to happening. Let's start down the bottom. Sanudo, what do you think? You got some hot topics there that we're starting out with tonight.
Well, I love Donald is a once in a generation player. I understand paying him as much as he wants to get paid. Cooper Kupp, I'm not so sure about. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers that are possession wide receivers in the NFL. I will say, though, it's kind of like, standing on the shore, and it's all nice and sunny right now, but you see those clouds coming. Yeah. Sooner or later, the Rams have to pay the big buck. Everything's going to come in at one point for the Rams where the cap is just going to be hit so badly that they're no longer going to be relevant for 2 or 3 years because of what they're doing today. So.
Yeah, good point. I like it. Kelly, your thoughts on any of the hot topics to start us off?
So Cooper Kupp, I think that's a good deal. 3 years is not too long. I think he's still got a lot of talent left in him. I think that's a good move for them. It's a smart move for them. Denver Broncos, Walmart always shoots for the lowest price ever, and obviously they blew it on this one. So I don't know. Maybe in about 5 years I'll have to discount those prices and sell the team again. But we'll see what happens with Denver.
The last team to be sold went for about $2.4 billion. This is almost double that for the Broncos. And they were worried. There was a lot of chatter within the NFL community, as I was listening to a lot of podcasts this week, that they thought it was going to go over $5 billion on this sale. And I guess the last group finally said at 4.65, we're out, and let it's the Walmart family, and then someone else is partnering with them. It's a joint thing. But hey, look, you know what? They're committed to keep the Broncos in Denver, and that's a cool thing for all of that community right there. Bryson, I know you got to be happy with that. Broncos staying in Denver.
Yeah, so I figured the Chiefs fan would try and knock me down because it's the Walmart family that bought it. But those discount prices made him worth $60 billion. And the next highest owner is worth 17 in Carolina. That's a big gap.
There you go.
And he's already said that he will spend up to $5 billion to build a brand new stadium of his own money.
Wow.
I'm all for it.
Wow, that's impressive. I didn't know that.
Now, let's see what he spends on Russell Wilson if he signs him to an extension and if he'll play players. That's what I want to see. You can tell me you're going to build a stadium. You can tell me you're going to do all this. But are you going to spend money? Because guess what? His cousin is Stan Kroenke, who owns the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche, people forget about. And he just let our awesome team president walk out the door and go take a better deal in Minnesota instead of paying him. Maybe because Stan's got that nice SoFi stadium he's still paying for in LA, or he's got to pay for Cooper Kupp and he's got to pay for Aaron Donald, so he can't pay for that. But anyway, this is an NFL show. I think it's great. I think it's also TBD.
Okay.
As of right now, it's cool. It's great. I like what he's saying. But kind of like Kelly said, let's see in 5 years what he's done.
Yep, that's a good thing. Well, congratulations out there. And that's our hot topics. Let's get back into our main core topics. I thought this was a really good one, guys. I found this slide. I said, you know what? I want to bring this on to our show here. And that is, this is a ranking of the wide receivers in the AFC. This was done by the NFL based on performance and what their expectation is for this year. which I thought was kind of interesting. So where it changed this year is an NFC receiver came over and took the top lead. You got Devontae Adams at the top, then Hill in Miami, Chase in Cincinnati, and Diggs. What stinks for me is my guy from Baltimore is all the way down the bottom, looking all the way up the top of the well, begging for somebody to throw him a lifeline to get him out there. Let's take a look. Just your comments and your thoughts as you look at this ranking. Welcome in, Mouse Talk, to the chat. Take a look at this. We'll start with Sanudo and go Sanudo, Kelly, and Bryson on this. What's your thoughts as you take a look at this? Is anything wrong, out of place? What are you thinking?
Is Juju Smith even the best wide receiver on this team? I think even a rookie that's about to come in is probably the better wide receiver on that team right now. Has Christian Kirk done anything to warrant even being on this list? I don't think so either.
Well, he's their number one. So, if it's the number one identified, they're on the list.
I will say, if you're looking for somebody who, I'm going to be a homer here, if you're looking for somebody who is consistent, as long as he's on the field, Allen's, in the top three for me. But I do think Chase, we look at this thing next year, I think Chase is going to be on number one on there.
Okay. Kelly, your thoughts looking at this?
Yeah, I think it's skewed a little bit. I can think of some people, that I would move around a little bit. And I'm not Tyreek Hill is, he's one of the top three. There's no doubt there, but of course I have old man eyes. I can't quite see all the names on this list, but that Tyreek seems to be in place for me. I'm trying to look where Cup's at.
Cup is
this is AFC.
Well, this is AFC. This is all
AFC.
AFC.
It's AFC.
It's just AFC. Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll do NFC next week. We'll do NFC.
Kelly's under the weather.
Yeah, Kelly's not all here. I'm better living through pharmaceuticals right now, folks.
You're doing good. Let's jump up to Bryson. What are you thinking, Bryson, as you look at the list?
I think the top three you could put in really any order right there.
Yeah.
I think Devontae Adams for sure deserves to be at the top. I don't think Jerry Jeudy is the correct Broncos receiver to be on this list. I think as of right now, today, I think Tim Patrick's better than Jerry Jeudy as an overall wide receiver.
And Patrick's listed as a two. I was caught off by I looked that up too, and he is listed as a two right now by the Broncos.
I love Jerry Jeudy. I hope to God his amazing highlight reel route running drills he does translates to the field this year. I think that'd be great. But yeah, I'd take him off and put Tim Patrick I put Tim Patrick somewhere in this list.
Okay.
And
That's good.
And your poor guy down there, he just needs somebody to give him the ball.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. The one that jumped out at me that I thought was lower than I think he's going to perform this year is your kid over in Indianapolis. Michael Pittman has the potential to be a monster. And I think now if you got somebody that will get him the ball quicker so that he can do a little bit of yak, which is what his built is, I think he jumps up in close to that top five. I think he gives a run this year. It'll be interesting to see what he does. But I thought that was an interesting list looking at the AFC. All right, this is a fun one here, guys. We're going to have a little fun here on the channel. This is called Pick Your Offense, okay? We'll start with Bryson and go Bryson down top to bottom. This is where you can go A, B, C, or D. If you were starting a franchise, thinking about guys that are playing in their prime, okay, where do you want to start your offense? Is it A, Brady, Frank Gore, Randy Moss, and Gates? Interesting combo. Is it Peyton Manning, Derrick Henry, Terrell Owens, and Travis Kelce? Another four studs. Is it Drew Brees, LT, Larry Fitzgerald, and Tony Gonzalez? I tell you what, all three of them are equal to me. Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson, and Gronkowski. If you had to pick a four to start a franchise, where do you start? It's a tough pick.
They're all in their prime. All these players, and not okay. I'm going D.
You're going B?
D
D.
is in dog.
Okay, you're going Rodgers, Peterson, Johnson, Gronkowski. Interesting.
Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers throwing to Megatron in his prime?
Oh, that's pretty scary. That
Like,
is pretty
That's
scary.
the whole reason I want that right there.
Okay, I like it. Kelly, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking B.
You're thinking B. Manning, Henry, T.O., and Kelsey. Manning to Kelsey.
Yeah.
Man, that would be sick. Manning loved his tight end.
That would be great.
Yeah, Manning loved his tight ends. Sanudo, what are you thinking?
I think I would go with D as well. And what puts me over the edge here is I think Adrian Peterson in his prime blows away all the other running backs. Even though I'm a huge LT fan, I think Adrian Peterson in his MVP years was just magnificent. And I think he could carry this team. Even if they have the weakest tight end, which Gronk is a fantastic tight end, he's the weakest of this bunch. But I think Adrian Peterson makes up more than Gronk being the weakest tight end.
And the funny thing is, when I looked at it, I came up with D myself initially, and I'll tell you why. When I looked at A, I said, hey, Frank Gore's consistent, but just along no big. We already know Brady and Moss. We've seen what they can do. And Gates has been in and out with injuries, so I thought about that. When I looked down at the Drew Brees thing, I thought about the fact that, Fitzgerald and Gonzalez are just consistent, but they're not big play things happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Rodgers to Calvin Johnson's big play. Gronkowski, what he's going to do as a tight end. And again, AP in his prime, even though all four running backs are studs, I kind of like that too. I like these things when they throw them out there at different times and I catch them. I think they make you think a little bit about everything here. So, all right, let's talk about this one. We got the Broncos and the Chiefs on the board here. We'll start in the middle with Kelly. Which non-playoff team in 2021 will make a run in 2022? Is it one of these? Is it two of these? Is it someone outside that we're not thinking about? But these four were picked out by the people of the NFL Network, what they did. And I was just curious what you guys would think. So let's start at the bottom. We'll go bottom to top. Sanudo, you can start it, and we'll go from there. What are you thinking?
Of course, I'm going to go with my Chargers, right? I have to. I think that's the easy pick, to be honest with you. Of these four, I really do like the Colts. I think the Colts are going to be sneaky this year, and I think the AFC needs to look out.
Good point. Kelly, what are you thinking? You're muted again.
He sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. I
So
agree. I agree with you.
if this is what I got to pick from, I can see the Chargers. I also agree. I think the Colts are going to have a better year than most people think this year.
Okay, like it. Bryson, what are you thinking?
Similar to his answer, I kind of have to say the Broncos. I finally have a quarterback since Peyton Manning. So I'm pretty excited about that. But in all honesty, yeah, the Colts, Carson Wentz was their Achilles heel last year, and they should have been a playoff team even with him.
Yeah, they should have.
So, add a very, very savvy veteran quarterback who has shown when you give him weapons, he can do something. Yeah, he's at the end of his career, but still better than Carson Wentz.
Here's my challenge. I like what you guys are saying. My challenge from my vantage point is I agree. I think personally the Colts is the best one on this one, and here's why. The AFC West, in my opinion, ties in with your NFC West. They are the two best divisions in those whole entire leagues. And unfortunately, the Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders are going to beat the snot out of each other 8 games during the year, and that's going to hurt the chances of one of those teams. Legitimately, the 4 of those teams in the AFC West right now are top 10 potential teams, and one of them may not even make the playoffs, and that's scary. That's how good that division is.
There's no Raiders fan here tonight, so we'll just say that team that's out is them. So that's fine. The 3 of us are in.
I like it. That's good stuff. And you never know what's going to happen with that. So let's see. Oh, here we go.
I knew it.
We haven't talked about the Jets.
No.
No, yeah, so no, he's mad. So that's why you called it audible, because you haven't talked about it. Go ahead, Gene.
I also want to say we haven't talked about the Ravens enough. It's too AFC Westy in here, right? I mean, what about the East Coast, the Ravens and the Jets? You know what?
I'll say it. First off, Corey Ellington here. Welcome in, Corey. He just joined. He's a Raiders fan. Gene, I'll say this to you. I'm throwing it out there. I said it on a baseball stream the other night. Here's the honest truth. I said it to this Sanudo before the game. He almost fell off his chair. If the Ravens don't sign Lamar Jackson by game 8 of this year, in 2023, Lamar Jackson will be wearing number 1 for the Miami Dolphins. Put it on Mark. Put it on Mark. And I hate to say that.
Ooh, that would be.
I hate to say that.
Juicy.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't happen. We'll see. Nonetheless, Gene, it's your time. You're calling the audible. What do you got, brother?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about Frank Gore. To you guys, is Frank Gore a first ballot Hall of Famer? I know a lot of people think he is because the numbers he put up, but to me, he's one of those all-time great compilers. To me, he's just not a first ballot. But what do you guys think?
Let's go top to bottom on this one. Bryson, what are you thinking? Frank Gore, first ballot Hall of Famer?
You said exactly what I thought of as soon as I saw this question. Frank Gore is the benefactor of time. He was a great running back. He was a great running back. He was, but not for the 30-some plus years it feels like he's played.
Yes.
I mean, he literally has just compiled and compiled and compiled. It's the same thing as compound interest. It's just rushing yards. He's just piled it up. That's all he's done.
I like it. It's the first time we've had a compound interest.
I'm a finance guy.
I like it. Kelly, compound interest, is he growing or is it time to just de-invest?
16 seasons. I mean, I could probably rack up some numbers if I had 16 seasons. I mean, even if it was just bench time, but I mean, that's a lot. Great player. Yes. Is he accumulated? Yes. I mean, I kind of agree. I think it's an accumulation thing.
Okay. Sanudo, he's got 2 more legs than I do to do the running. What are you thinking?
I have a buddy at work. We discuss these kind of things, and he always hates the whole first ballot Hall of Famer. He always says, if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer, no matter what. Doesn't matter first.
That's a good point.
I think the opposite, to be honest with you. Did you ever, when Frank Gore was in his prime, did anybody ever say, "Dang, we're playing against Frank Gore this week"? No,
good
probably
point.
not.
Great
Adrian
point.
Peterson, yes. A couple other guys, yes. Frank Gore is a fantastic player. He is a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's an elite player, which is what a first ballot Hall of Famer should be. I think he gets in, but it's not going to be in the first.
Man, those are all good points. Gene, do you agree with him? What are you thinking?
What's funny is I believe exactly what Justin just said. I don't understand why this first ballot, second ballot, third ballot, so on and so forth. Either you're a Hall of Famer or not. What changes from when your first time on the ballot to your 5th time on the ballot? To me, if you're a Hall of Famer, you should be a Hall of Famer. So I actually agree with that. But in reality, we do have these first ballot, second ballots. And to me, if we're going to play it that way, he's just not a first balloter. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes. But again, great compiler. I think if I remember correctly, didn't he have his first carry for the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III? I mean, I feel like he's played as long as I've been alive, maybe longer.
That's what I'm saying.
So again, fantastic player. Seemed like from everything you heard, great locker room guy, great guy in the clubhouse. But Adrian Peterson, he is not. So I think he should be a Hall of Famer. Okay. Again, I agree with Justin that if there shouldn't be ballots, it should just be you are or you aren't. But in the circumstances we have today, he's just on a first ballot.
Okay. You got any hot takes on the first 2 topics before I hit your trivia?
Yeah, man. You know what? I agree a lot with what you guys said with those receivers. I think Chase is the number 1 guy. I think he's the number 1 receiver in the league. So I know he's top 3, but I still think he's number 1. I think Pittman, you hit around the head. I think Pittman's going to be one of those things that makes that offense in Indy go. Pittman, to me, I think is so underrated. I think he's a top 5 receiver after this year. Juju, overrated. Christian Kirk, overpaid. So I think those guys need to come down that list a little bit. And again, I agree, too, with Indy. I think Indy's the team in the AFC that's going to make the run. And the main reason why is not because those AFC West teams are any bad. They're just going to beat the hell out of each other all season. I mean, you got 4. You might be arguably 4 of the better teams in the conference all come out of that division. It's going to be unfair for someone to not make the playoffs out of that division. Maybe even 2 people not to make 2 teams not make the playoffs out of that division, and that's going to be unfair because those are really good teams. But they're going to knock the snot out of each other.
Kelly always finds a way to cheat to get all his Chiefs things in there. so I get screwed. It's
But I do agree though with Indy. I do think it's Indy. I think they have a softer division, and I think they got the pieces in place to make a good run.
okay. I like it. Let's talk your trivia question. I think you got a good one tonight.
Yeah, we got a good one. Bring the trivia back, and so my question is this: draft. We just got finished covering the draft for weeks and weeks. So my question is this: who is the undrafted running back with the most career rushing yards?
I had no idea of this answer, honestly, when you sent it to me. So we'll give one shot at it. Then I'm going to have you because I guarantee I don't think anybody's getting it. I could be wrong. Bryson, I'll start with you. You're our guest tonight. Any idea who that running back might be?
I can't even think of a top running back that was undrafted. You think that's like the ESPN Sunday morning story they would talk. I can't even think of it. Way to go, Gene.
It's a great trivia question because I looked at it and I'm like, there's no way.
I'll let Kelly give the right answer.
If Kelly was healthy, he might get it. He's a little under the weather today.
Yeah.
So I'll say no. Kelly doesn't have that.
No.
You want a cough drop, Kelly? I got him.
So,
I got a box of them over here. I've taken out stock in halls.
Sanudo, we'll go to you. Any chance you might get the dun-dun-dun-dun?
When somebody ever asks a question about undrafted players, I always just go with Tony Romo. So,
Gene, tell him about it.
Well, all right. Played over 3 decades, mostly for the San Francisco 49ers. So Joey D should know this. Joe Perry, running back Joe Perry, with about I think 9,700 rushing yards.
Wow.
Was the top.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a household name, but also played a very long time ago.
I love it. Now, I know
but also, you know what? Let's also give credit to Arian Foster. Arian Foster, another very good running back, also undrafted. He's the guy who I actually thought when I was doing my research was the guy.
That's a good one.
But no.
Okay, I love it. I know you usually go to your show, but I noticed just now you don't have a show tonight. Gene, would you like to hang out for the balance of this?
I'm in, man. Yeah, I'm taking the night off, so I'm in.
All right, I'll just have to add you in as we go along because I didn't have it set for that, but I'd love to do that. All right, so let's go down here. Let's take the next segment here. I'll bring Gene as we go through. Bring the guest up and set him in right there so he's good to go in his little box. Let's talk about this one. This was so big, I had to bring it up on the screen here. It takes a second. Now, this is a big file to see. I'm going to read it out here, guys. And we'll go bottom to top here. We'll start with Sanudo and go around the horn. Since realignment in 2002, at least one team has gone worst to first in its division almost every year. Only years it did not occur was 14 and 19. Will any team do it this year? Here are the 2021 last place teams. Jets, Giants, Ravens, Lions. You got your Jaguars, your Panthers, your Broncos, and your Seahawks. Sanudo will go to you, then we'll go to Gene and up to the top. Will any of these teams go worst to first this year?
Yeah, if this team was on the box about who would make a playoff run on a little while ago, I would have picked them, and that's the Ravens. I think the Ravens have the best chance of going from worst to first. This is a make or break year for Lamar, and if he makes it, that the Ravens are going to ride to the playoffs. If he doesn't, then as you were talking about, he won't be there next year.
Okay, I like it. Gene, what are you thinking?
It's a tough call because I think there's a lot of these teams all did get marketably better, maybe except for the Seahawks. But I think if you had to pick one out of this group, I think it's definitely the Ravens. But every other team here, I think, got marketably better. It's just that they're in divisions where there's just better players or better teams. But I would say the Ravens probably have the best shot out of this group.
I thought for sure I had it ready. If you said Jets, I was ready. I was going to hammer it.
I got to worry about my credibility a little bit. Yeah, listen, that division is just too good right now. Everybody else got better in that division, so I don't see them making that run. A couple of years away.
Gotcha. Welcome in, Ryan Rowe. Great to see you, buddy. Kelly, worst to first. Anybody or nobody?
On this list, I'm telling you that Baltimore does have the best opportunity, in my opinion. I think the Jets would have the next best opportunity, but I just don't see it happening. I think Baltimore's going to have the better opportunity.
Okay. And Bryson. And the only different, are you different on the Ravens? Is it nobody? What are you thinking?
The Ravens. I mean, literally, Steelers, Big Ben retired. You got a much easier path. We already said it. Broncos are going to get beat up like everybody else in our division. So only thing I'll say is they make the playoffs. But the Ravens,
So I'm going to shock
they
you
got the
guys
easiest
here.
path.
I'm going to shock you guys here and say this. I'm going to say watch out for the Broncos, and here's why. They play each other. This division's going to beat them up. The Broncos is going to have the easiest schedule of the four. They're going to be able to play some of the lower-end teams and pick up some wins when the Raiders are playing Dallas and Kansas City is playing the Rams and stuff like that. You know, you might have the Broncos playing Detroit or something like that. So keep an eye on that. That could
I'll
be
let
scary.
you say that.
I'm just saying it not that I look, honestly, again, I go back to those four teams in that division, flat out, being no ignorant, are that damn good right now. The changes they made in Denver, picking up Russell Wilson, they didn't have a quarterback last year. Now they do. They've got a good running game. You're going against, Kansas City. We know what they have. The Chargers, we know what they have. And the Raiders have made changes. So I just think it's going to be interesting. It will all come down to how the Broncos do in the division. If they pull out a couple wins there that people don't think they're going to get, it could be unique at the end. So I thought that was an interesting one there. All right, let's go over to here. We'll jump into this one. I'll bring in Gene here with us to join. Let's talk about this, and we'll start with Gene and go bottom to top on this one. This is most Super Bowl wins in the history of the NFL. Now, mind you, teams moved and everything like that. So some things don't get credited. I don't like the fact that the Colts have championships when they weren't in Baltimore. I think it should have stayed in the city, but that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. But here's my question: as you look at this, okay, who's your next one to make a big run to get up into that 3 or 4 rung? And the other thing I'm looking at here is who's the next one to get to 6 out of those teams that are in 3, 4, and 5? Kind of just a thought process, So, Gino, what are you thinking looking at this thing here?
I think out of the 3, 4, 5 guys, I think 49ers, I think, have a nice team going ahead into the future. And as far as those teams at the bottom, I think the Bengals can actually go on a nice run. They got a nice set of triplets down there. The Bills as well. And let's not forget the Jets. I mean, I know I'm a Jet fan, I'm a homer, but let's face it, they've made some improvements, and I think they're gonna have a nice few years ahead of them once they these guys get some snaps in. But I love the future for the Bengals and the Bills. I think they are going to be tough, and I hate saying it as a Jet fan with the Bills, but they got a good team, and they got a good team for the foreseeable future.
How crazy is it, Kelly, that solid right now with 0 wins, the Bengals, the Bills, the Chargers, all sitting there with 0 Super Bowl wins, Kelly?
Is that not kind of weird? I mean, especially the Bills and the Chargers. I mean, honestly, Chargers are a great team. Bills, been amazing lately. But right now, the other teams have just stepped up their games. They've stepped up their players. It is a difficult road right now. So for me, my call is going to be the Bills. Okay. To jump up into that one category. I think the Chiefs will be the next ones to jump into that 3 category. And I think San Francisco has the best opportunity to hit that next 6 mark.
Okay. Bryson, as you're looking at this, does one of those teams go to 7 before somebody ties them at 6?
No. Niners definitely get to 6 before anyone gets to 7.
Okay.
The Bills and Bengals, yeah, that's easy, I think. You never know. Actually, I kind of like Tennessee and them taking Malik Willis this year in the draft.
Oh, good call out.
So, I mean, you never know.
Like
he develops with Derrick Henry. I mean, They got a good young wide receiver they drafted to replace Brown. So, I mean,
I like it.
Who knows?
I like it. Sanudo, the Jets have not in last place for once. I mean, I don't know.
The Jets have a strong core. Are they going to be Super Bowl contenders here in the next couple of years? It's going to take some time. I agree with everybody else. I think San Francisco has the best chance of getting 6 next. We haven't talked about. We talked about them earlier today. they got about a window of about 3 or 4 more years, but the Rams could easily get a couple more Super Bowls and jump up there
Ooh,
towards the top.
yeah, there
And
too.
the Chargers, the Bills, I think the Bengals are overrated. The Cardinals, don't forget on the Cardinals. I think all those teams can get a couple of Super Bowl wins in the next decade.
Good
And
Cardinals
let's be
caller.
honest, if the Bucks don't get one this year, they're not getting one for quite a while.
Yeah, that's a good point. I have to give props where props are due. Gene's Jets did beat my Colts for that one Super Bowl win. That was the famous Namath year. So I got to give props where props are due. All right, let's jump over here. I'll bring Gene in with us here on this one. I loved this screen when I saw it. Where is it? There we go. I loved this screen when I saw it. I went crazy. And I said, this is so cool. Top 10 NFL players under the age of 25. As you take a look at this, and you're looking at this, who has the chance to break out and be a potential Hall of Fame candidate from this group under 25? You got quarterbacks in there like Herbert and Jackson, Burrow, and Murray. You got incredible wideouts like Chase, Jefferson. You got running backs in there like Taylor. You got incredible players all the way through. Bosa is a machine. Under 25, pretty hot. Let's start with Kelly on this one. We'll go Kelly, Bryson, Sanudo, and Gene on this order. Kelly, what are you thinking when you look at this list?
If it's God, I wish I was 25 again.
Yeah.
There's some great talent here that is still young that's going to allow for several great years of football. That's what I see here, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
That the league is going to be strong for at least the next probably 3 to 5 years with this talent that is just going to continue to make NFL football much funner to watch.
That's a good point. Bryson, a lot of quarterbacks in there. Is a quarterback your number one look in here? What are you thinking?
I think the quarterback is the easy road to say on this,
Okay.
just because they're good. They're good. I would go with Nick Bosa or Jamar Chase.
Ooh.
I mean, I think Nick Bosa is like Von Miller was when the Broncos won the Super Bowl. He's a complete game changer. I mean, Von Miller wrecked Cam Newton's career. Like,
Yeah.
and you can't argue that. He hasn't been the same since. And Nick Bosa has that capability.
Yeah. Yeah. You start talking about players that can just impact. Bosa's one.
Yeah.
I think one that's not on this list yet because he hasn't played an NFL game, but is going to be on a list like this quick is Thibodeau from the Giants. He is a disruptor. I give the respect to me, who is one of the greatest disruptors ever, and that was Kelly's guy, Thomas, out there in Kansas City. I look at that, and I think of people like that. Sanudo, what are you thinking as you look at this list?
If somebody put a gun to my head and said, you got to pick 3 Hall of Famers here out of this list, I got to go with Herbert. He's fantastic. I mean, he's a top 5 quarterback right now. You got to go with Chase. I think he is going to be the best wide receiver this year. Another one on this list, Jonathan Taylor's just incredible. Jonathan Taylor is incredible. I think, you give another 6-7 years of what he did last year, he's a Hall of Famer. And if I had an outside one, and I know I talk about him a lot, maybe I got a little man crush on him, but Kyler Murray can be somebody special. I think
He is single.
He can end up doing something. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. I like the list.
He's worried about whether or not he's following the Cardinals on social media right now.
That's true.
Taylor's a great call
Let me
out.
grow up a little bit.
Taylor's an excellent call out. Corey
We all
says
can.
Max Crosby. I don't know if Crosby's under 25, but what I will say is, what a way to turn your life around, Max Crosby, and go from the challenges he faced with the demons he fought personally to the monster he's become with the Raiders. Yeah, absolutely. Gene, what are you thinking here? There's no Jets on here.
Yeah, I mean, which is a travesty in itself, right? But I'll tell you what, Jamar Chase to me, I think is the best guy out of this bunch. I think he's going to be. If there's one surefire Hall of Famer, it's Jamar Chase to me. I agree with Sanudo. I think Jonathan Taylor is the best back in the league right now to me. I love that guy. He was my favorite coming out of the draft when he came out a few years ago. And you know what? No one's really given Jair Alexander any praise. I feel like he might be the best corner in the league. I love Alexander. So I think he might be higher up that list. I would probably bump him up. Murray to me, I don't know what it is about Murray. I'm just not in love with Murray. I don't trust him. But again, I think Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, and Alexander to me are like.
And
are
I
the cream
like
of the
your
crop
call
of this
out
bunch.
for Alexander. You might see Sauce on that list with Alexander soon. If he does,
Hopefully so.
if he carries his college career over into the NFL and elevates like people have done in the past, your Ed Reedish and people like that, it'll be interesting if he can elevate to that, not these Hall of Famer. If you're watching us for the first time, this is what we do. My broadcasting partners tonight, Myers and the Mouse, who helped me create this show right there in the center. Down to the right is Jason Udo. He is one half. He's the smaller half, he'll tell you, of Escapades
The worst
with
half.
BJJ over there. Bryson, for the love of the mouse, is coming in. Great friend, been around the community. He's a Disney veteran, does a great job with all his socials. And down the bottom, Gene Fitzmagic. He is the spearhead behind the Diz Nerdy Network. So we also, guys, as you're watching tonight, just to let you know, as the season starts, when week 1 of preseason starts, which will be in August, a little over a month and a half away, we will switch to 7 o'clock and run on this channel from 7 to about 7:50, 7:55. I'll have gentlemen in like this. We'll have a special set, and we will pick that week's games against the spread and lines. We'll talk about big matchups. It'll be your preface to the weekend, Thursday nights, right before the Thursday night game. I'm really excited and looking forward to that. All right, jumping on to the next screen, I'll bring up guest number 4 here. It's taking me a second. There we go. Gino right there. I got to realign all your frames. I'll do that after the show. This I thought was interesting, guys, and I'm kind of glad we're doing it on a week that Jeff's not here because I wouldn't want to hear his mouth right now. This is in the Super Bowl era, the overall top winning percentage by an organization. Overall winning percentage in games. Thank you, Tina, for dropping the links in for everybody tonight. Appreciate you. Somebody could grab for the love of the mouse. I thought Jesse did that earlier. I saw her do it and drop his in again too. The Cowboys, the Steelers, the Patriots, my Ravens in number 4. Take that, Kelly. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. I thought this was an interesting list, top to bottom. As you look through this, kind of want your reactions. We'll start with Bryson and go top to bottom here. Bryson, as you look at this list, what surprises you and what doesn't?
Oh, I wish Jeff was here. The Cowboys surprised me, but I guess it's because all I heard growing up was Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, because it seemed like there was Cowboys fans all around me. But, that was 2 decades ago.
Jeff is that old.
You said that, not me. This is just overall winning percentage. Okay.
Overall winning percentage during the Super Bowl era.
I wanted to say the Bengals, but then I remember Marvin Lewis was like one of the most consistent coaches for like a decade when he was with the Bengals.
Okay.
So that probably helped him. I don't know. There's not really any surprises. I mean,
okay.
The Buccaneers were horrible back in the day, so that doesn't shock me.
That's what dragged them down. Is the Tampa Bay Yuck days dragged them down?
That's what they were. That's right.
Yep. So okay, Kelly, your thoughts as you look at this?
The Bills surprises me a little bit. The Raiders surprises me a little bit that they're so high. I mean, come on, guys. Let's just be honest. We all hate the Raiders, right? I mean, come on. Anyway, just say.
At least 3 of the 5 people on this dais do.
Yeah, right. There. I mean, nothing else really. Well, Dolphins kind of surprises me a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't, but they don't. Dallas doesn't surprise me because of just what you said. That was the same thing that worked in my head. They had their golden years, kind of like Patriots had their golden years. That doesn't surprise me. The Steelers have always had that as well, in my opinion.
Okay.
I
like it.
Yeah.
Gino, your Jets are at 25. That means there's 7 teams below them with a worse winning percentage as an organization. How you feeling right now?
I mean, it's how I've felt for the last X amount of years that I've been a Jet fan. I think that's going to reverse course, though, over the next 10 years when we pop in about 3 or 4 Super Bowl championship years. Maybe an undefeated season or 2. We'll see how it goes. But here's why I am surprised is the Vikings. I didn't think the Vikings had that high of a percentage, and I thought the 49ers would be a little higher. as a kid, I feel like the 49ers never lost a game back in the Montana Young days. To me, like, it was always the 49ers.
Yeah.
Not so weird to see the Cowboys up there. But I'll tell you one thing that sticks out, and it's not a surprise necessarily, but it just makes me realize how bad I feel for these franchises, is Detroit and Cleveland, who have been in this league forever, and have such – I mean, just to see Cleveland be that low, and they've been in this league forever, I feel bad for the Detroit fans. It never really seemed to ever really get a team that puts it together. They've had some studs over there. Barry Sanders, who to me was the best back of all time. Calvin Johnson, maybe one of the best receivers. Well, obviously not one of them. I mean, he's one of the best receivers of all time, maybe the best. It's just sad to see Detroit be so low on that list, and I feel like they've been around in the league as long as any other team has been. So
yeah, they're too worried about building cars. Eventually, they'll figure out they got a football. So, Nuno, what do you think when you look at this list?
Stole a little bit of my thunder, but Buffalo, they're not just a boom or bust. I mean, they go to all these Super Bowls and they're still under 500. As he's talking about San Francisco, I thought San Francisco would be top 5 easily. But 2 that haven't been brought up, the Bears. I've always thought the Bears would be really competitive, but they're below 500.
Yeah,
and I can't believe Washington's still above 500. They've been a terrible team for a couple of decades.
They had those runs in the 70s. That was huge, So.
Oh, Dan Snyder's trying hard to bring him down.
Yes, he's doing a good job. He's a jerk. I don't even want to get into him.
One thing I see on this list.
Yeah, Bryson.
Look at these teams and think about that last slide we just saw with Super Bowl wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like the top teams the 2 teams with 6 Super Bowls are up here at the top winning percentage. It kind of correlates.
Yeah, that's true. Patriots right below it in there. Yeah, interesting. Gene, how many Super Bowls do you feel the Jets are going to get in the next couple of years?
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
All right, we'll go on to the next topic.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was.
All right, let me go pull Gene up here. Actually, yeah, there we go. There he's right there. Sorry, I've been waiting. I had to do that. Prognosticating 3 Super Bowls will get you the rock. That's how it works. All right, we're gonna finish out with this tonight, guys. It's a little bit here. I kind of asked the guys. I sent them a note beforehand and said, "Hey, if you can take a look at what you're thinking. You don't have to give me all your players, but this was kind of how I feel mine would lay out this year. And I'll just throw it out there first, and then I'll kind of start with Sanudo and go Sanudo, Bryson, Kelly, and Gene here. This is why I like this. Let's start Coach of the Year. I think the Chargers, this is the year they're going to step up. I think they're going to really show something. I think that AFC West is much-watched TV almost every Sunday that they're going. I'm calling a bunch of the games here on that channel. That's how much I like the AFC West. And I think if you look at somebody who's done a good job of developing a mentality over there, it's been Staley. I like him as a QB. Rookie of the Year, you guys have heard me talk about Thibodeau all the time. That's my man crush, Sanudo. This kid, I watched him in Oregon. He's just, like I said, I relate him to Derek Thomas. That's the highest praise that I could give him. And I think if he does that in the NFL, look out. Myles Garrett is a beast, and he said he has come to play this year. If that's the case, I like him as Defensive Player of the Year. Justin Jefferson keeps lifting up every year. If there's any player that's going to carry his team, I picked him. I went over like 5 or 6 players before I came to Jefferson, but I'm going to stick with it right there. The Rookie of the Year, watch out for this kid in Green Bay. Christian Watson, I think is going to be interesting for him. He's got great speed, great hands. It's going to be good. I really like him. And the comeback player of the year, there's a couple players I went back and forth, but Michael Thomas has been through hell, and I think with them down in the Saints, he's got a great chance at being the CBPOI. And then MVP, we've picked him for the last 3 years. He hadn't got it. He finally got over the mountain of beating Kansas City last year and still didn't make it, So he's still got to get to where he beats Kansas City thoroughly and carries it all the way through to a championship. But I still think the most valuable player to a team right now, in my mind, is going to be Josh Allen. So let's start with Sanudo. Who are some of your guys you're thinking about? Are they some of these? Are they somebody else? Tell us what you got.
So, for Coach of the Year, I think Kyle Shanahan takes it. I think he finally takes the 49ers to the next level.
Oh, that's a good call.
either they get to the Super Bowl or they knock right on the door. So I think
Okay.
he'll end up being Coach of the Year. I went down my list. Offensive Player of the Year. Usually this is, the MVP is usually a quarterback, so I didn't throw any quarterbacks in here. And I think we talked about him a couple minutes ago. I think Jonathan Taylor is your Offensive Player of the Year.
Good call out.
Defensive Player of the Year was a little bit tougher for me. I'm a homer. I felt like if they can share Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are going to win it together. If that's not possible and they end up canceling each other out, Fred Warner, linebacker over in San Francisco, that's the name you really need to look at.
Yes.
He may end up
Good player.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's easy to go with Sky Moore. We kind of hinted at him being the best wide receiver in the Chiefs. I'm going to give you a name. Trey McBride. He's a tight end second rounder for Arizona. I think he may be the sneaky pick this year for Rookie of the Year because he's got nobody really in front of him. So I think he's going to get the ball a lot, especially with the wide receiver problems over there in Arizona.
Like that call.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson's the easy pick, right? I'm going to give you a name, again, kind of deep in the well. Tristan Harris, he was a third-round pick for Houston, out of Alabama, linebacker.
Alabama, yep.
He started since he was a freshman in Alabama. I think he's gonna be one of those sneaky players that end up being the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So I always like this one guy you don't know about that ends up winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think that's him. Comeback Player of the Year. We talked about it. Khalil Mack. I think he's an easy favorite. I'm gonna give you two names. Well, I'm gonna give you three names, and you're all gonna laugh. Maybe Mitchell Trubisky. If he ends up starting, you never know. Saquon Barkley. He has the talent. Can he stay healthy? That's the big question. And I'm gonna give you the biggest one. The one Las Vegas will give me the best odds on this one. He comes back out of retirement. Quarterbacks again for somebody who gets hurt. And Ryan Fitzpatrick's your comeback player of the year.
Really? Wow. Okay. I like that. That's a great list. I love that your linebackers are going to meet at the head of Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be interesting. Kelly's happy about that. Some good call-outs there. I love your Taylor call-out. That's some good ones there. And I like how you went deep into it a little bit. So that's good stuff. All right, Bryson, what are you thinking? Who are some of your thoughts early? And again, this is I called this the way too early for NFL honors predictions. So
yeah, this is the off-season awards. So Coach of the Year, I agree, Kyle Shanahan. I think if they can put it together, I mean, just managing Trey Lance and the Jimmy Garoppolo saga alone should get him that. So I think that's a good one there. I'm just going how I have it in my order I wrote down. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I went with Pete's team. I'm not sucking up to the host here, but I like Kyle Hamilton a lot.
Kid can play.
And
Notre Dame.
He can play. And when I think of like awesome, just killer Ravens defenses, I think of safeties. And I think he's the next safety coming out of Baltimore. Like, I just think he's awesome. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I hate saying this, but Sky Moore, I hope he plays really bad 2 games of the year and then does really good the other ones. I think Sky Moore is really good. Offensive Player of the Year, I also went with Justin Jefferson. I think I could say Jamar Chase, but I think that's the easy answer. And Jefferson, I like him as a receiver more. I definitely took the easy route on Defensive Player of the Year because I went with TJ Watt.
That's a great call out.
I think TJ Watt is the he can stay healthy version of JJ Watt. And I know Jeff hates it when I say that, but JJ Watt, he's been made of glass for the last few years. TJ Watt has proven he can get out there, he can stay out there, and he's just as good as JJ. So comeback easy is Michael Thomas. I agree with Pete. I think he has literally been through the ringer and he deserves nothing but a good season. And my MVP, because of what Pete said earlier, the AFC West is going to beat themselves up, and the Broncos have the easiest schedule. And I think Russell, the man Wilson, carries us through that beat-up schedule. But also I put Aaron Rodgers down because somehow he always wins the MVP.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is always in the mix. Dole Whip Dad is on the phone. He says a comment about, he said, I guess he's in the middle of eating. He's choking or something.
Like, it looked like I had like buffalo wing juice all over me.
Okay, I guess he's thrown him off. He's got buffalo wing juice all over him right now. So I'm sorry to hear that. I love it. Great list there. You guys are both high on Shanahan. I got to keep an eye on that. Some great call-outs all the way through. The Hamilton call-out, hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, he could be there. I just think that, I think they're going to look at somebody who makes maybe he does make a big impact. I love the call-out. All right, Kelly, what are you thinking? How many Chiefs are you picking?
I'm not.
Hey,
I'm not.
I got to back up Kelly. He does not pick his fantasy team based off of Chiefs.
No, he does not.
I'll give him that.
I don't. You think I would, wouldn't you? Drake Landon, offensive player of the year. Thibodeau, defensive player of the year for rookie. I think the offensive player of the year is going to be Cooper Kupp.
Oh,
I think he's going to have a solid
His
year. I
contract.
just really do. For some reason, he's getting paid for it. He better. And then Micah Parsons, I think has a good opportunity.
Yeah.
This year for defensive player of the year. Comeback player of the year, Derrick Henry.
Oh. Good call.
That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking I'm thinking Josh Allen for coach.
Okay. Gino, you've heard everybody else, so you're going to go crazy off the wall on me. Where you got?
Well, you know what? I got some chalk picks, and I got some maybe far off picks. I think I agree with you on Staley. I think Staley's the coach of the year. I expect them to have a fantastic season. You know what? Offensive player of the year to me, I just think Jamar Chase is that gifted. I know it's the easy answer. I really believe in him. For the defensive player of the year, I do think Parsons. I think Parsons is another one of those guys that's just special. I think Parsons is defensive player of the year. Where do we go from here? Comeback player. I love Thomas. I think it's a great pick, but I do think that quarterback situation is still a little bit of a question mark. I like Carl Lawson of the Jets. I think he's going to come in and play in that system and do well. And that's not me being a homer. He missed off last year, and he showed a lot of potential. I think he can come back this year and be really, do really well. Offensive rookie of the year, I'll go homer again. I think Breece Hall is going to be a special back. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be plug and play from minute one and be a workhorse in that Jet offense. Running backs are one of those positions where they're really ready to go from day one. You don't need to really learn much of a system, but just hand him the ball and let him go. So I think he's going to be the guy for the offensive rookie of the year. For defensive rookie of the year, I love Hamilton and Gardner. I think those two guys are going to be the best players in this draft, Hamilton and Gardner. But again, there's a system to learn as defensive backs, and I think that's why the first year there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Thibodeau, another guy. Those guys on the edge, you kind of just plug them in and let them go, and that's why I think Thibodeau will be the best rookie out of this class. But I do think Hamilton and Gardner are going to be the best players in this defensively in this draft. And MVP. I'd hate to say it, but at least though if Dad's not here to hear me say it, is I think Herbert's the guy. I really think Herbert's gonna have a special season this year. He's got some good receivers. He's got a good back. I think that's what's gonna help propel Staley to be coach of the year.
That's a good call. Coach of the year there. Okay. I like the picks. We'll see how close we are as we move towards the end of the season. All right. Our next segment that we're going to do in just a minute is where you in the chat get to ask us questions. So get your questions ready. Highlight at Pete McDivitt Show. It's a rapid fire thing. I'm going to run through something real quick. We'll be right back, and we're going to hit your questions. So light us up. Let's hear what you got. Just a reminder that I do USFL football on the weekends. We'll be calling some games again. It's been a lot of fun. It's a step right below the NFL, but it's been quality football in the offseason. They're at the final week of the season. Playoffs are coming right after it. If you like football, come over and take a look at the USFL. There's drones. There's all kind of craziness going on over there. We've got a Discord that we're very proud of. We're talking NFL, football, all the sports, and Disney. We got over 200 people chatting and hanging out in the Discord. If you'd like to be over there, jump on in. If one of my moderators could drop the link in. Jesse and Joy have done a great job running the Discord and making it fun and enjoyable. As a reminder, tomorrow night, I'll actually be doing Game 4 tomorrow night. We had over almost 200 people watching the other night when we did the other game. So we're going to do Game 4 coming up with the NBA. Can't wait for that. I'm really excited because the ladies are going to be doing some football, everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun as they sit down and they go inside the huddle is going to go outside the huddle with the girls talking football. It's Tina, it's Joy, it's Sebastian the Crab, it's Annie Coog. I don't know if Joy will be talking about animals or football. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to debut next week. We'll make sure you have the link. We want you to come in and check it out. The ladies go outside the huddle. Looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. All right, let's see what we got in here. Pepe Le Pew, says, hey, who is the team that next year's number 1 draft pick? What team will end up with the number 1 draft pick? I got to bring Gene in because we don't usually have him here, so let me do that real quick. Guest 4, we'll bring him in right there on the big screen. There we go. Gene's in with us now. Guys, let's go top to bottom. What team has the number 1 pick next year? Kelly, who do you think it is? Who's the worst team in football this year? You're muted again. You sound great. But
best answer he's given all night.
I'd say the Jets, but
okay.
No. Believe it or not, the Lions are going to be the ones that get the number.
Okay, Sanudo, what are you thinking?
I think Carolina's the worst team in football right now, so I think they'll be picking first.
Carolina, okay. Bryson, what are you thinking?
I think the Giants.
Okay.
I just think Daniel Jones can't figure it out.
Okay. Interesting. I like that call, actually. Gene, what are you thinking?
I believe with Kelly, I do think it's going to be the Lions, but I also think Seattle could be a contender for that. You know, they got that really great receiver over there, but not much else. And I think Seattle you might see some tough games in Seattle.
I'm calling a DK Metcalf trade to either the Cowboys or the Ravens or possibly, where was the other one I thought about the other day? Green Bay. That was the other one. So I'm calling a Metcalf trade. We'll see. We'll see. Corey says the Seattle Seahawks could struggle. Yeah. Sanudo has a question. He says, if do you think the NFL will go fully guaranteed contracts? We'll start this one. We'll go top to bottom. We'll start with Sanudo. When do you think they will do it?
I think your quarterbacks are going to start getting these fully guaranteed contracts in the next 2 or 3 years. Your Donalds, your elite players, and then I think it trickles down. But I don't think we'll ever have fully guaranteed contracts just because of the way football is and how injuries work.
Okay, Bryson, what are you thinking? Guaranteed contracts.
Similar answer. I mean, I think quarterbacks are there now. Kirk Cousins started it. I think your elite players. I could see like you're starting 22, maybe 30 players getting fully guaranteed contracts, but it'll never be fully guaranteed.
Okay.
Owners will never go for it.
Gino, your thought?
I think it's always going to be case by case. I think it's going to be if a team is desperate enough to do it, they'll do it. I don't think you'll ever see it fully. There's too much risk of injury. There's too many risks of too many things like that. Okay. I don't think you'll ever see them have fully guaranteed. I think it's always going to be one of those things where it's case by case. And
welcome in, Yachty. Thank you, Yachty, for coming in. Kelly, what do you think? Guaranteed contracts.
Absolutely. The injuries are just too. No matter how great of a player is, you could have an injury and that's going to end that season or could end their career depending on what the type of injury is. With the concussion protocols and everything they've got going on anymore, I don't see it being a permanent thing. I could see a onesie, twosie here and there, but I just don't see it being prevalent.
Okay. Sanudo asked another great question. He's always in the chat loading up our questions. Who is the best number 2 wide out in football? Bryson, we'll start with you. Go Eugene and then up to Kelly. What do you think? Who's the best number 2?
Thanks for putting me on the spot. The best number 2 wide receiver? Oh, gosh. Is Cooper Kupp technically the number 2 wide receiver in the Rams?
He's actually the number 1. If OBJ was there, he'd still.
1.
No, but who'd they just didn't they trade for Allen? So Allen Robinson then.
Allen Robinson, good call out. I like it. Gene, what are you thinking? A number 2 out there that jumps out at you?
I love Elijah Moore and the Jets, but I think it's Adam Thielen.
Oh, Thielen. Thielen's a great call out. Great call out. Kelly, who's your number 2 that you're yelling about?
Pass. I have no idea off the top of my head.
Okay, Sanudo, who's your number 2?
It's whoever you consider the number 2 is in Seattle, either Lockett or Metcalf. I think
that's another great call out.
Number 2 there.
I wouldn't discount Patrick either, the guy in Denver, for Bryson. I think he's got a lot of talent as well out there. Let's see. Samuel Jennings says, is there anyone in your thoughts right now that could be the biggest bust of the draft? Personally, I think it's too early to answer that. We haven't seen anybody on the field. Does anybody feel differently on the panel?
Well, it's too early to call it.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah,
It's too early to call it, but yeah. But there are some that have some red flags. I mean, Walker going first. That's a workout warrior, and that kind of just shouts that that's going to be a bust. But may not be, but if I was going to pick one, that's who I would pick.
Okay, Gene, you had a comment?
Yeah, I hate calling a kid that's just starting his career, hasn't even played a game yet. I hate putting that tag on anybody. Give him a year before you call him a bust at least. I don't want to. I don't even want to answer that question. I don't want to put that on somebody. Give these kids a few games to get their legs under them, and then you judge a bust year 1 and 2.
Absolutely. All right, let's we'll pull up the leaderboard for the week. I got to bring Gene in here too because I didn't have that in there. I got to takes 1 second just to bring him in. Overlay, camera, bring in Gene down here. Move him down here over the logo. This is our leaderboard. We keep track each week. If you've been following us, I give points to those deserving for tonight. Tonight, I'm going to throw the points out, and I'm going to give it only to Bryson for coming in at the last minute with Dole Whip Dad being sick. And I'm going to give it to Kelly for coming in sick tonight and staying with us, fighting the battles. Those two get points. Puts Bryson on the board, puts Kelly way away from Jeff, which just irritates him to no end, which that makes me smile right there. And Sanudo, my question is, how are you not on the board?
Well, I was thinking instead of giving me a point, just take 1 away from Dole Whip Dad. That would make things easier.
Okay, I will do that.
That's fair.
So I'll take 1 away from Jeff, and we'll give 1 more to Kelly, and then we'll get Bryson up on the board. I'll get his logo in there next week, and we'll get that going so we have all the numbers lined up. Look, in case you haven't figured out yet, all the points are done just in fun because all of the guys that come on here give their time and energy to help out and make this a good time. I'm going to use this screen as our close tonight instead of the smaller screen because I've already got Gene in here. Let's talk with the guys for a second about what they do. But before, I want to remind you that you'll be seeing all of these gentlemen throughout the time on this show, even when we go into the 7 o'clock slot, when Kelly and Jeff are not around or unavailable, or it happens where they just want a night off. I'll have several guys in picking winners with us, picking winners against the spread, talking about big games. We want to be your preliminary build up to the NFL weekend every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. You can find the links for everybody on the dais here on the front of my YouTube page. Just go to slide down to where it says NFL Inside the Huddle Show. All of their links are right there. You can click on it and go right to it. And also on my YouTube, or my website page under the NFL show. Let's start with our guest tonight, Bryson. Tell everybody a little bit about where they can find you and what you're doing with social media.
All right, you can find us on Instagram at For Love of Mouse. Our YouTube channel is For Love of the Mouse. They had a little bit of the bell was taken already on Instagram, so that's why we have that. But yeah, that's our 2 main things. I mean, Instagram and YouTube is where our focus is right now. I mean, we got an awesome cruise series. We just got back from a 7-night Disney cruise, so
nice.
Got those vlogs coming out. So I mean, it's been a blast to get back into editing and stuff. So it's been a blast to just get back in the community as well.
I love it. I love hearing it. Welcome in Patty Puddles and Mar in Memphis. I didn't tell you, Bryson, but as far as your contract for coming over here, when we finish and we clear out, you have to get on either social media or your cell phone and reach out to one person in our community and tell them that Michigan is better than Penn State, and you know who it is.
I can do that right now.
You can tell him that Pete's talking about it. That'll get him fired up.
I texted him earlier and told him that.
We'll go up. Sanudo, talk about what you guys have going. Escapades of PJJ.
Yeah, I just do whatever my wife tells me. But in all honesty, she's already got a whole bunch of streams up there. We're a family channel. We're all very busy in our house. Everybody's house is very busy. it's an hour a week that at least my wife and I and our daughter can sit down and spend some time together. With that being said, Peyton, our daughter's birthday is on the 13th of July, and we'll be doing a live stream for her birthday. So if you ever want to watch us for anything or haven't done it before, watch on that day. Show my daughter some love.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Love it. Your daughter's a beautiful young lady. I've had the opportunity to meet her personally. That's awesome. Escapades of PJJ, they do a great job. Disney content and fun. And ladies and gentlemen, Justin served our country. He is a veteran, so we are grateful for that as well, for it. Show him some love there. I'll wait and give Kelly last. Gene, you're next. What do you got going right now besides telling us how good the Jets are?
Well, I mean, I could spend a whole episode talking about the Jets, but yeah, Jizz Nerdy Network. Monday night, me and Piano Rob, Late Night Magic. We actually have Nigel Downer, and we'll be back doing that show live. We've been doing it pre-recorded for the last few weeks. We'll be live on Monday night. Nigel Downer from CBS's Ghost and Bit Players will be in the house. Very, very funny Canadian comedian. And then on Tuesday on We Like Theme Parks, which I'm now a member of as well, we have Big Fat Panda in the house. So we have a fun group of guests coming in next week.
Help him get over 100K. He's so close to 100K.
I would love it.
Love to see him do that here. Kelly, really appreciate you. I know you're not feeling 100%, but you came in anyway. I love you for that. It's always good to see you. Tell me, oh, God, you texted the wrong one. I wanted you to text Josh, not that one.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Good Lord. Now you got me in trouble.
Well, I can't. I got too many Penn State fans.
Now I'm going to have to deal with Dave and Penn State. Good God. Oh, but Kelly.
I thought you were talking about Dave.
No, I meant Josh. I wasn't even thinking about him.
Hold on,
right,
I'm texting him right now.
Kelly, what do you got going with you and Mama?
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. The park's got a little bit of crud going around. There's a sinus infection going around. A lot of our friends are sick down here right now. If you haven't talked to some of us down around here, we're all battling some type of sinus infection going on, and you're hearing people cough and yak and hack, and it's not Rona or anything like that. Everybody's being very cautious that we've talked to. All of our friends are being very safe, and they're getting tested multiple times a week to ensure that they're not doing anything weird. So let me ease your mind on that. But I will tell you, I took Mama to the doctor, and the doctor came out after about 30 minutes and said, Mr. Myers, I have something I need to tell you, and I'm going to share that with you guys, if you don't mind, Pete, for just a minute.
Is she pregnant?
The doctor came. No. The doctor came out and said, I have some news for you, Mr. Myers. I need you to know that your wife is having some trouble and some difficulties with us. And part of it is part of her mind is starting to go. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, part of her mind is already kind of gone. And I said, well, honestly, I'm not surprised. For 30 years, she's been giving me a piece of it every day. So that, those of you who have been worrying about Mama, she's actually doing okay. She's doing fine. She's getting a little better every day. But
this, I was nervous about where you were going with this. You went into Kelly serious mode for a second.
But she's got this crud, and so she's been so we've been holding back from the parks, and it's just we want to make sure that we're healthy and that we're good before we head back. So we may not be at the park this Saturday. We're just going to play it by ear, as depending on how everybody is, and just keep it safe. But typically, we're at the park Saturday at 10 a.m., and we typically stream most of the day, if not all of the day, for everyone. And Tuesday nights at 6 p.m., we go to the parks and have a good time and just enjoy it. Everybody's been very wonderful. We love our community. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive.
I'd love to put it out there that she's pregnant.
No.
Okay. Guys, look, here's the deal. You see these logos on the screen right now. Dave of Brandy and Dave, who comes in all the time for us here. I'm going to move it over here if it'll allow me for just a second. I got to shorten it up because I want to show these other ones. So give me a second here. It takes me a second with only one hand. It's a little tough to do this. So let me move that right there. You see these logos on the screen. Myers and the Mouse, Brandy and Dave, JSA Creations, Gene Fitzmagic, Dole Whip Dad, Mouse Talk, Ken the content creator. You got a good friend Bryson for the love of the mouse. You've had Living in Diz in here with us. These people are good people. Okay? If you like sports and you're hanging out with me because of it, I get it. But if you have any inclination of liking things from theme parks, of liking things from Disney by chance, or Universal, because you'll see a little bit of love from these people. If you like home vlogs that can just take you out of a bad day and make you laugh. I sat and watched Sanudo's wife on a stream with Tina the other day and damn near fell out of my chair because it took me on a day where I'm in pain 24 hours a day, and for 35 minutes that I watched, I wasn't in pain because I was laughing. They're all trying to work hard on their channels. Give them a little look-see. Again, the links have been in the chat all night. Thank you, Tina, for dropping Brandy and Dave and JSA in there. Also, again, their links can all be found right on the front of my YouTube page for their YouTube channels all the time, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And on my website, it has all of their socials. I did fix yours too, Gene, by the way. I got it going to this Nerdy Network. We'll have Bryson's up there tomorrow or Saturday. I'll get his done. I put up Ken, the content creators, the other day. These are good people. Check them out and give them some love. We look forward to bringing more magic of the football season to you every week. Again, next week, when we come back, we'll have more football content. Following us will be Outside the Huddle. I have no idea what's going to happen over there. I got a text, and I'm trying to pull it up real quick. I got a text a few minutes ago about the first topics over there on the Outside the Football show. Tina cannot wait to talk about tight ends. She's very excited about those and looking forward to talking about those. Kelly, I know you got to be excited about that because I'm sure Travis Kelce. Did you see him hold on, before I say this, did you see Travis Kelce? I don't know if you guys watched this show called Holy Moly. Travis Kelce was on there as a distractor, and he was absolutely hysterical. I'd give that guy a show in a heartbeat. He made me laugh. Just made me think of Kelce. It's going to be a good show. They want to talk. They're going to have a lot of crazy topics. I understand.
Anna polished up her beaver, thinking that she might take it out onto the course and play around tonight.
Oh, okay. It'll be Beaver Talk, so that'll be a lot of fun. So you have to go check them out. Thanks for coming in tonight, everybody. We've had a good time. Hit that subscribe. Guys, hold on. I'll be backstage with you in 1 second. Thanks for coming in tonight. Hit that subscribe on the way out.